Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. Hope you all enjoyed Diwali vacation. This is Miss Khushbu Manglani, your English teacher. So today we are going to start our second term studies. So let's get started.
We are going to start with the ninth chapter of your English grammar text. Kinds of verb. Children, do you know what is the meaning of verb? Verb is very important part of a sentence. The verb means the word which shows action. The word which shows action is called verb. A verb is a word that shows action or condition or conveys the state of being. Few examples are the first example, Milind walks in the morning. Here, walks is the verb. Milind walks in the morning. Here, walks is used in a simple present form. It is showing the habit of Milind. So, it is a usual action. Right? Walks is the verb. Monali is reading the newspaper. Here there are two verbs, helping verb and the main verb. Helping verb are the verbs which connect the subject with the action and which connect the subject with the rest of the part of the sentence. Here is the helping verb and reading is the main verb. Here reading is in continuous form, present continuous form of verb. Read plus ing, reading. Right? Monali is reading. So is reading is the verb. Is the helping verb and reading is the main verb. Third, Anu does not like to dance. Here, does not like, okay, is referred for the action dance. Right? So, this is the negative action. Right? This is the negative form of action. So, here like does not like. Like is the verb and dance is the verb. Okay. We are going to study the three categories of the verbs given in your text. Transitive verbs, intransitive verbs and linking verbs. There are different types of verbs. Regular verb, a verb that's past or in the second form and past participle, that is the third form, is made by adding d or ed. For example, walk, walked. We add ed to make it in the third form, that is past participle. We add d or ed, right? So that is regular verb. Irregular verb. Some words, some action words are always different. Okay, their spellings can't be formed by adding s, es, d, ed Okay, they have different forms for different tenses. So, if the formation of the verb is otherwise than the regular verb, it is called irregular. If we can't make the second form and the third form of verb by adding d or ed, at that time such words are irregular verbs. The third is linking verb, a verb that act as a link, that act as a joint, okay, that joins two words is called linking verb. It connects, links or joins a subject to a noun or an adjective in the predicate. We have already studied subject and predicate. So, a verb which joins the subject with the other part, with the predicate or with some adjective, then that verb is linking verb. What does the linking verb do? Linking verb connects, links or joins a subject to a noun or adjective. Fourth is transitive verb, a verb that needs object to complete itself is called transitive verb. A verb that needs an object to complete itself is called transitive verb. It is called transitive because it passes its action from subject to object. The action is being passed from subject to object. Intransitive verb. Number fifth, intransitive verb. A verb that does not need any object to complete itself is called intransitive verb. A verb which does not require an object to complete itself and to make sense, that verb is intransitive verb. Finite. Finite verbs means those verbs which can change their form in accordance with the subject. According to the subject, the verbs which can change its form. Okay, we have studied the different forms of verb V1, V2 and V3. Okay, we have studied all the tables of the verb. So a verb which can change its form according to the subject is finite verb. Infinite verb. An infinite verb is a verb which has to before it. Okay, I want to play. So, to comes in front of the verb, right? So, it is infinite verb. It shows infinite action when it's used at the beginning of the sentence. It shows infinite action when it is used at the beginning of the sentence. The first type is transitive verb. Read these sentences. The girl made. The boy painted. Here, the sentence the girl made does not make complete sense. The girl made what? The girl made something, but what? Here it is not specified, so it is not having a complete sense. Okay, the girl made a design. So, a design is object, right? So, now it makes a complete sense. The girl made a design. Okay, you got the name of object which she made. The word design is therefore called object of the verb made. The verb made requires an object to complete the sense. So, here this is transitive verb. The verb which requires object to complete its sense is called transitive verb. A verb that needs an object to complete its sense is transitive verb. The second sentence was the boy painted. The boy painted. Here it makes a complete sense because it shows the action of boy. The action of boy is shown, which makes complete sense. The word painted does not need object. The sentence the boy painted makes complete sense. It tells us what the boy did. He painted. The verb by itself makes a good sense. So such a verb that does not require object is intransitive verb. Such a verb that does not require an object. The verb that does not require object and makes good sense by itself is called an intransitive verb. Verb that makes good sense and does not require object. So that type of verb is intransitive verb. So transitive verb requires object to complete the sense, but intransitive verb does not require object to complete sense. Transitive verbs. Raman opened the door. Here Raman is noun. Opened is action. Okay, opened is verb. So if we say Raman opened, so does it make complete sense? Nah, it does not make complete sense. Raman opened the door. Raman opened the book. So opened word, opened action needs some object to make sense. So this is transitive verb. Some animals swim. Here the word swim, the action swim, the verb swim does not require an object. So it is intransitive verb. Transitive verb. Transitive verb. Sarah baked a cake. Here baked is the verb. Baked is the action. Sarah baked a cake. Here the verb baked requires an object, right? It requires an object to complete its sense. So it is transitive verb. Here you can find the verb by asking what to the noun. Means if you ask, Sarah baked what? Cake. So that is the answer. So object how you will find, you will ask the noun what. You will ask the noun question what. So whatever answer you are getting is your object. Raman opened what? The door. So door is object. I hope you are connecting all the dots, connecting the dots of transitive verbs. Second is intransitive verb. Nomi plays. Here, Nomi plays what? No answer. So there is no object. When there is no object and the sentence is making a good sense, then it is intransitive verb. Dania is a doctor. Here is the verb. Okay, helping verb. So is the verb. Dania is what? Doctor. There are only a few verbs which are always intransitive. Most verbs can be used either transitive or intransitive. Few verbs are only there which are always intransitive. Other verbs mostly require object or does not require object. Means only few verbs does not require object. Other verbs may or may not require object. Used transitively. Now we will look how the verbs can be used transitively as well as intransitively. Many people eat rice. Here many people eat. Eat is the action word. Eat what? Rice. So that is object. But if we say many people eat, it does not make complete sense. If we add some object, many people eat rice, it makes complete sense. So it is used transitively. Wise people eat slowly. Here also the verb is eat. Here in both this sentence the verb is eat. But in the second sentence there is no object. Wise people eat slowly. Here there is no need of some object. So the verb eat can be in few sentence it needs object, in few sentence it does not need object. So it could be transitive also, it could be intransitive also. Depends on the sentence. Before you say whether a verb is transitive or not, carefully examine how it is used. So what you have to do? You have to read it once or twice, examine it, okay, and then you have to decide how it is used. This is your homework, right? You have to solve the exercises of this chapter. The third type of verb, linking verbs. Read this sentence. That man seems a fool. That man seems a fool. Sam is strong. The verbs in these two sentences, seems and is, are not verbs of action. They do not show any action, right? They tell us what the subject is or seems. They tell us what a subject seems. Here the subject is that man. Okay, men and Sam. So what they tell? They tell what subject and is or seems and not what subject does. Okay, subject is not doing anything. Subject is appearing. Okay, someone is strong, someone is good. That is their appearance and that is not their action. If I say Sam is strong, so that I am saying Sam is not doing any action. So here, this is the linking verb which joins the subject with some other part of the sentence, which joins the subject with other part of the sentence. So the verbs in these sentences are not the verbs of action. They tell us what the subject is or seems and not what the subject does. Definition: such verbs that join the subject to some other word which describes the subject are called linking verbs. Such verbs that join the subject to some word which describes the subject are called linking verbs. They are sometimes called verbs of incomplete prediction because they require another word. Suppose I say Sam is. So is the incomplete form, incomplete prediction. So they require some other words. They require complement to form a complete predicate. Thus, the word strong, which tells us what Sam is. Okay, the word strong tells us what Sam is, and which is required to form a complete predicate is called complement to the verb. Here are some further examples of linking verbs. The boys made great noise. Here the linking verb is made. The old woman looks unhappy. Here the linking verb is looks. He went mad. Here the linking verb is went. See children, the verb which joins the subject and the rest part of the sentence which describe the subject is called linking verb. Here the old woman is subject, looks is the linking verb, and unhappy is describing the woman. So that is linking verb. Here he went mad. Here he and mad. Mad is the state of being. Okay, how he has become? He has went mad. So that is state of being. So when the subject and state of being are linked together using went. So went is the linking verb. John Steve became happy. Here the linking word is became. Okay, so the verb linking verb is became. The sky grew dark. Here the sky and dark. Dark is adjective, right? So here the sky is the subject. Dark is the adjective, which is the rest part of the sentence, and the grew is the linking verb. The children fell asleep. She danced well. So all these sentences, the linking verbs are there, which tells something about the subject and which joins subject with describing words. Okay. Here are some verbs that are used as transitive verbs. Here are the verbs which require an object. Okay, so this is the list of transitive verbs. We'll take one example. Achieve. Achieve. She achieved a gold medal. Here, achieve is the verb which requires object. Here the object is medal. Okay, medal. So here medal is the object. She achieved good marks. Here marks is object. Second one is address. The teacher addressed to the students. So here students are acting as object. Okay, the teacher addressed me. So here me is object. Admire. Everyone admires the right person. So here the person is object. It is shown as object. So transitive verbs require object. The girl created. The girl created what? The girl created beautiful painting. So your painting is object. The girl created beautiful sketch. Hope you are able to connect with this topic. So this is the list of transitive verbs. You have to read the list carefully. Examples of transitive verbs. More examples of transitive verbs. He spoke truth. Here the verb spoke needs object. The wind blows gently. The farmer killed a snake. Here killed is the verb, needs an object, snake. Here the list of intransitive verbs is given. The list of intransitive verbs which does not require an object. Okay, which does not require an object. So the word ache, advance, these are the verbs which does not require object. So you have to memorize this list. You have to read this list. The first word is ache. Ache means pain. Okay, pain. So it aches. Here it does not require any object. My head ached. So here ached means pained. Depart. Okay, depart is the action word of separating. Okay, it is the action of separating. So the bus departed. Here departed does not require any object. Okay, so it is intransitive verb. You have to read the full list of intransitive verbs. Example of intransitive verbs. The frog jumped. She laughed. The moon disappeared. The sun rises. They played. So all of these are intransitive verbs. The verb jumped, laughed, disappeared, rises, played does not need any object. So they are intransitive verb. Here you have to write T for transitive and I for intransitive. So you have to write I or T for the verbs in the sentence. This is your homework. Some transitive verbs take two objects. Some verb requires two objects, direct object and indirect object. Example, my mother gave me a book. My mother gave a book to me. My mother gave a book to me. Here, gave what? Gave book. Gave whom? To me. So here there are two objects, book and me. Your book is the direct object and me is the indirect object. His friend took an atlas from him. Your atlas is a particular book in which maps are given. So his friend took an atlas for him. Here atlas is the object, direct object, and him is the indirect object. By finding the answer to the question what, we will get direct object. If we ask the verb what, we will get the answer that is direct object. If we ask the verb gave what, वर्ब को जब हम पूछते हैं what, तो जो आंसर हमें मिलता है वो हमारा डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट है. गेव what, गेव बुक. फिर गेव जब हम वर्ब को whom पूछते हैं, who या whom पूछते हैं, तब जो हमें आंसर मिलता है वो हमारा इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट है. गेव whom, किसको? me. So that is indirect object. The direct objects generally are non-living thing. The direct object generally is non-living thing, and the indirect is usually a person, animal, or some living creature. Indirect object is generally usually a person, animal, or some living thing. So direct object is generally non-living thing. Indirect object is generally living thing. A direct object takes action from the verb, and indirect object is a noun or pronoun that takes action indirectly. Actually they are noun only. Me is pronoun. Okay, noun or pronoun. Him is pronoun, but they take action indirectly. So they are functioning as the object. Hope you are clear with the concept. You have to solve all the exercises, all the textual exercises in textbook with pencil. You have to solve all the exercises in your textbook with pencil, and this is your homework. Okay, students, bye, take care.